Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, peeplings, earthlings. I hope you're all having a lovely day. Firstly, this is going to be about a lot. And shortly I am going to analyse an article in Radar Online about Meghan is going to fight legally for her titles. But this video isn't just about Meghan. She's like a little sideline of amusement. There are more serious things. And firstly, I would like to say how proud I am of all of you. I am proud to stand with you, with innocent until proved guilty. God bless every one of you that understands and embraces that. God bless every one of you that realises and has the intelligence to know that when someone says innocent until proved guilty does not mean they are condoning any acts of criminality or sexual abuse. It means innocent until proved guilty. Now, some people have said, why am I so angry? And I am still, and it's probably never going to go away. I've been angry for 25 years because I've been on the receiving end of a witch hunt. I know how the newspapers either twist things, or they're so clever with their language, legally, the word allegedly thrown out, or they claim no wrongdoing, or blah, 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 blah. So I also saw, and I know that I think it is a lot of you, commenting on that Daily Mail article and saying exactly that. I know also some people think that what I'm doing is a political statement, either for or against Donald Trump, for or against Joe Biden. Not at all. I don't know who's on that list. I'm presuming there are a lot of Americans on the list, but I don't know who it is. None of us know for sure because the list is secret and it's hidden, isn't it? And they're focusing very much on a British prince. I've just watched Lady C and God bless her. Her video that she did on around Stephen Hawking and Tony Blair. It's a very, very good video. I will put a link to it in a pinned link. Now, I know some of you don't follow Lady C, some of you do, but it is definitely worth listening to because she eloquently and very, very well makes the point. Innocent until proved guilty. She also makes the case that the monarchy itself is at threat. And I agree with her. I can see a referendum on the horizon if people are not careful. But as long as you guys are around, I think we're pretty safe because you guys, you're just wonderful. For those that believe in guilty until proved innocent, I don't want anything to do with people like that. I really don't. Now, this is just one example. This is not about me, but this is just one tiny, weeny example. For 25 years, there have been literally thousands of newspaper articles online saying there was an air search rescue at Beachy Head for me. I even had one lunatic tell me that he rescued me from the sea and gave me the kiss of life. And I said to him, that's not possible. I'm me. I'm Fiona. That never happened. And the guy continued. It's astonishing how many people just believe everything that's in the newspaper. So recently, I confirmed with the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency in the UK whether they had a record. I have put this on my community post and I'll just read this out quickly. Don't worry, we will be getting to Meghan. So I wrote to them on the 25th of October, a few days ago, and I said, "Dear Sir, Madam, I would like to know if you have any records of an air-sea search and rescue for Eastbourne, Sussex, Beachy Head in December 1999. Look forward to hearing from you." They replied and said, "Good morning, Fiona. Thank you for your email. We only retain information for 20 years aside from anything of significant public interest which would have been assessed to the National Archives. I hope this is of assistance." I'll get the next email. To which I replied, "Hi, thank you so much for your reply. It was a case of note, so it is in the National Archives. National press alleged that there was a huge 3-day search and rescue for me off the coast of Beachy Head, after what the media referred to as a fake suicide. There were hundreds of articles, but they printed it based on the word of one person, a now disgraced ex-police officer. I never faked my own death, and when I heard that this person was making this nonsense story up, I went to Beachy Head to see if it was true that there were Coast Guards looking for me, and there was nothing. The allegation is that the search began on the 15th of December and continued for 3 days. I'd like to clear my name and prove that there was no such air-sea rescue. My husband Graham died of cancer earlier this year, and it is important to me to clear his name as well as my own. We've lived for over 20 years of injustice of this horrible lie that we cost the Coast Guard money in an unnecessary search and rescue, and it didn't happen. I greatly appreciate your help if you can in helping me prove that there is either a record of such a 3-day search or there isn't. I suppose it would have been the RNLI, but I don't know if the MCA work in conjunction with them or if I'm better asking them directly. Again, thank you for your help. And they replied, good afternoon, Fiona. I would recommend contacting National Archives here to see if they have information. And I did, and I searched, and it said, we did not find any results for your search. 25 years. This is just an example. I don't want any, feeling sorry for me comments or anything like that. But this is for the benefit of the people who say, why am I angry? Because it's really fucking personal. It's happened to me. That's why. This is nothing to do with politics. It happened to me. It happened to Graham. Our children have had to live with this shit. Based on a lie told by an ex-boyfriend and an ex-disgraced police officer years ago. So that's why. Yeah, I'm still angry. I had my hit list. I spent a good 10 years. I tracked down every single one of those son of a bitches, including the magistrate who signed my arrest warrant where Skerritt turned up in Spain, and he blagged it with the Spanish police. Totally pulled the wool over their eyes. I even tracked her down. Yes, it was a she. And I contacted Mid-Sussex magistrates to ask why she signed it. And to my astonishment, they said, well, we don't have any record of her having signed it. And I said, well, I've got the warrant, because the Spanish gave it to me, bless him, this Antonio. He knew something shonky were going on and he gave me a copy. I have a copy of the warrant. Why did she sign it? And they said then she must have signed it out of hours. So I looked into who her husband was. Oh, interesting. Worked in some sort of paper industry, manufacturer of paper. Plays golf. Might know the Daily Mail. Yeah. Oh. And Steve Skerritt was on holiday when he came with the Spanish to arrest me. When my lawyer phoned Sussex Police, they said, we don't know what you're talking about. What warrant? What? And my lawyer actually said he heard them put their hand over the phone and go, where did Steve Skerritt say he was going on holiday? And someone saying, well, Spain. The car they arrived in was a hire car, driven by the Daily Mail. So that's just one example. And of course, this is a historic case. So whenever I see people saying, just declaring, oh, well, they did it. That's it, they did it. Without any charge, without any conviction, without any evidence, just based on the word of the Daily Mail, particularly. The word of the Daily Mail, oh my God. Holy fucking shit. So I'm about to analyse an article in Radar Online about Meghan taking legal action against William. And as I always do, I'm going to give Meghan and Harry the benefit of the doubt. I always add words. I don't just say allegedly. I always add words like, well, if this has come from Meghan, and I personally think this probably has, or this sounds like her, or Harry, but I phrase it always very carefully so that I'm not actually saying it is a fact, because I don't know that it's a fact. Radar Online could be making a load of shit up for all I know. And I am a doubting Thomas when it comes to the press. If only more people were like you guys and were doubting Thomases. So I'm even extending the courtesy to Meghan Markle, who obviously I've been critiquing for several years now. So I'm always astonished at how these witch hunts start. And I would urge everybody to have a look at Lady C's video, because it's a particularly good one, especially as she's in hospital and in agony. I can't believe she's done it. So this article about Markle. Now, it's basically saying that she will sue William in the courts if he tries to take her title. Well, firstly, it's not her title. So I've got a bit of doubt. But then the way Meghan, I have witnessed Meghan speaking in the past, she has said and done the most peculiar things. And so for me, it sounds credible that she would refer to it as her title. In fact, I think she has actually said, wasn't she interviewed recently? And the lady said, "What is your title?" And then she went into a great big long explanation about her title. So I feel I'm quite justified to say that there could be credibility in this article. Exclusive: panicked Meghan Markle already preparing to go legal over fears Prince William will inevitably come for her Duchess title as soon as he's crowned king. Markle is panicked and defiant amid fears Prince William will move to strip her of her Duchess title when he becomes king. As insiders told RadarOnline.com, she's already getting prepared to fight back with legal action if necessary. Now, okay, Radar Online, but there is a journalist who's written this, and his name is there in his picture. He's called Aaron Tinney. So, I mean, it's not just like sometimes these articles, they just have a sort of a journalist wrote it, and you have no idea who's written it. This guy's actually put his face, he's put his name to it. So, for me, that adds weight to it. I do believe that people talk to the press, perhaps disgruntled members of staff, cleaners who've been spoken to badly may overhear conversations. So, it's not inconceivable to me that this is true. According to royal sources, the 44-year-old Duchess is deeply unsettled after King Charles' recent decision to remove Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's titles, and believes she could be next in line for a royal reckoning. Well, no, I reckon she is. Harry for sure. It's a given for me. I will be stunned if it doesn't happen. At what point it's going to happen, I mean, that's another matter, isn't it? And I bet they're still on that bloody website. I won't bother looking just now because I can imagine they are. Sources told us Prince William, now this gets a bit dodgy for me because sources near Prince William would talk to Radar Online. I find that unlikely, but yeah, well, you never know. It depends who the sources are, doesn't it? Sources, I mean, it conjures up images of perhaps William's best friend, but I mean, it might not be. Again, it could be somebody who was in the proximity of someone who knows William, who overheard a conversation. So, I mean, let's go loose with that one. Sources told us Prince William 43 played a key role in supporting his father's firm stance against his disgraced uncle, which has now led to renewed anxiety in Montecito. The Sussexes' titles could be targeted next. Well, yeah, they don't work for the royal family. A source close to the couple, so now this source is close to Meghan and Harry, said, Meghan's really anxious that William could one day use his position to strip her of her title. She's been telling friends, no one is taking my Duchess away. To her, it's so much more than a title. It's tied to who she is, what she's built, and how the world sees her. Losing it would feel like being written out of the story entirely. Well, I don't think anyone's ever going to forget Markle, for a start. Secondly, if this is true, it's tied to who she is, what she's built. Well, that would be, if that was her actually saying that, that would be a clear admission I'm trading on my title. You take the title away, I lose my brand, I lose my business. But again, it's a source close to the couple. Could be Meghan, could be anybody, couldn't it? Oh, but this my approach is not good enough for the Sugars and the Sussex squad. They don't appreciate that all these years I have given her and Harry the benefit of the doubt because I've been on the receiving end of newspaper articles. So I have always questioned who are these sources, but that's not good enough for the Sussex squad. No, nothing short of absolute adoration and worship for the Duchess, the Queen, spelt with a K-W. Nothing short of that is good enough, and so, well, they come for me and my family. Prince Harry 41 and Meghan step back in 2020. Why do they have to keep putting that in articles? And they're raising their 2 children. Since then, they have built a global brand around their royal identity. What global brand? Launching media projects, philanthropy, and Markle's new lifestyle venture as ever, which sells luxury goods such as jams and pancake mix. Another insider. So this guy's... Now this gives it a little more credibility for me. because they start with one insider and then he's referring to another insider. So I think if it was just like a license to print bullshit, he'd just stick with the one source, the one insider. But this is a second one. Titles still matter enormously. So much of Meghan and Harry's influence in the media, in business, in their charity work, comes from being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Without that, the dynamic shifts completely. Meghan understands the stakes, and she's ready to fight it in the court if it comes to that. Now, let's go along with that this insider is 100% bona fide. Let's just hypothetically talk about that. Well, she'd be a bloody fool, wouldn't she? She'd be an absolute bloody fool. Firstly, it's not her title, as I say again. So it would have to be Harry fight it through the courts. Now, I think quite a few of you have already mentioned, I wonder if Harry would fight it through the courts. Well, seeing as the big hullabaloo he made about security, which again was a very stupid move, because one of the biggest things of security is privacy and secrecy, that nobody knows. So by him making this big public spectacle about getting government security back, he's advertised to anybody out there, any loon who could be a threat to him, that, he doesn't have adequate security. That in itself, he's putting himself and his own family in jeopardy. So yes, I do believe that if William or King Charles were to take the titles away, I do believe there'd be a court case. But then, can't she see that all the years she said, "Oh, titles don't matter. Women are ranked. Not women are what? There's something or ranked." That all that would fly out of the window. It would become the world's, talk about the Streisand effect, it would become the world's biggest advertisement that she and he trade on their titles. I mean, it would be mind-blowing if she were to take legal action. Because it would be him taking legal action, but it would be her behind it, I bet you. That's if that sentence is to be believed. And as I say, we're in hypothetical territory. Not that I get any thanks or credit for that from Meghan fucking Markle fans. If there are any left. I mean, they must be nuts paid. They've got to be. And I mean, apart from anything else, it would talk about humiliating when Prince Andrew has just gone, yeah, I agree with this, take titles, I'm leaving. And yet, it would look like her fingernails dragging across her desk, being removed from the building. It would be utter humiliation. The warning has sent shockwaves through Harry and Markle's household. A friend of the couple, so I mean, this is yet another source. So I'm beginning to wonder, but again, none of us can be 100% sure if these type of articles are genuine or not. A friend of the couple said, watching Andrew lose everything and become Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was a wake-up call. Meghan has taken it as a clear warning that no title is guaranteed. If anyone tries to take hers, she's not going to stay silent. Well, that last bit rings true to me because she never stays silent about anything. Oh, Little Mermaid lost her voice. Fucking hell. William has spoken privately about wanting a slimmed down monarchy. Well, we hear this a lot. I mean, we've heard this with Charles. Again, I've got my doubts. I just don't know where they get this. Is believed to view the Sussex titles as inconsistent with his vision of a future royal family based on public service. Well, it's more simple than that. They left. They resigned. You leave the perks behind, don't you, when you leave a job? William's very practical about the future of the monarchy, a palace insider said. He wants it to feel modern and responsible. That could mean taking a hard look at how titles are used by royals who don't work for the crown, particularly those who've built commercial ventures around them. Well, yeah, I mean, he would have grounds, wouldn't he? That's for sure. While Harry has been seeking reconciliation with his father, relations between the Sussexes and the Prince of Wales remain fraught. I can well believe that, and I can see that. Oh, he's doing marvellous, isn't he, in Rio? Oh, I love all the pictures there. William's running out of patience. Well, I'm amazed he's got any patience left. I'm stunned. He believes the Sussexes have cashed in on their royal connection while damaging the family's reputation. That I 100% agree with. I don't know if the source is genuine or not, but I can believe that. I can believe that, definitely. If he carries that view into his reign, and there's no reason he wouldn't, Meghan's title could be on very shaky ground. Yet those close to the Duchess insist she won't be intimidated. Quote, Meghan's never been short of ambition or drive and is absolutely relentless, said the insider. Well, that all rings true for me from what I've seen of the actual woman and the way the actual woman talks. So Meghan's never been short of ambition or drive and is absolutely relentless. I think we can probably all agree on that. The quote continues, if she feels pushed into a corner, she'll come out swinging. I can go along with that. Through the courts, the media, whatever it takes. For all the talk about moving on from royal life, those titles remain their foundation. She and Harry will fight hard to hold on to them. Well, I couldn't see them winning a court case. I mean, as I understand it, if the Prince title is to be taken, that's what do they call it? Letters patent, don't they? That's a very, very specific area of law I'm totally unfamiliar with, and they would have to take it through the courts in the UK. And there's not a cat in hell's chance I couldn't see that. I mean, are there even any precedents for the judges to look at? Has there ever been anybody try to sue the monarch for creating letters patent? Has there? I mean, I don't know if there has. If there had, it must have been a very, very long time ago, or most likely it was guns at dawn or swords or battles, Battle of Bosworth, that sort of thing. If you didn't like something the monarch did, then they'd gather an army and they'd go take the monarch on. I mean, this would be the most humiliating and utterly stupid move in the whole wide world. That's if Harry's got enough money to do this. I can imagine her having absolute fits of rage. This is just my imagination. I can imagine that. I can imagine her being horrified. It never really occurred to me that she herself would be so stupid to suggest legal action. Harry, yes, because we've seen he was told and told and told by so many different courts, you're not entitled to the IPP level of security, and he pushed and pushed and pushed, and then at the end he actually said, I wish someone had told me at the very beginning of this that I didn't stand a cat in hell's chance. Oh my God. So I mean, yeah, I can imagine him. I feel she's quite crazy, and I feel she's quite stupid, but ever so slightly more intelligent than him. That's how I've always kind of felt that she is. I mean, we never know if these kind of articles are true, but an awful lot of the quotes that were in that are things that I've observed over the last few years of her and Harry, and also of William. I have no doubt that William will remove the titles when his time comes. You never know, King Charles might remove them. I mean, we were told for years it was an impossibility, and now it's not at all, is it? What it is it's a big thing, isn't it? It's a big, big thing. She is actively, and has, I believe, been actively trying to destroy the monarchy. I mean, to go on Oprah and to make all those wild allegations, again, a lot of people believed them, didn't they? And the royal family got hell for it without an ounce of evidence. Oh, and that reminds me. I mean, Lady C says that she's been attacked by certain people, when all she has said is she does not believe the allegations. Didn't Piers Morgan lose his job for just daring to say, I don't believe it? He didn't believe Meghan. So this is the state that we've come to in society today. Thank God for you guys. Thank God for communities like this where you refuse to be like this. But unfortunately, there are some quarters of the internet and social media that if a person even dares to put their hand up and say, excuse me, I've got my doubts. Cancelled, fired, you're out. What in the holy hell? And other people, I mean, who say that, firstly, I'd like to quote someone eminent, another YouTuber, I won't name the YouTuber, but another eminent YouTuber very recently said, if certain people don't like what certain YouTubers say, don't watch it and go and create their own channel. And then they can say what they like on their own channel. Because I have had one or two people demand that I either stop talking about Meghan and Harry, or demand that I stop talking about Prince Andrew, or demand I do this, or demand... I wasn't aware those people paid for my internet connection. And I don't think those people pay for your internet connection either. You are allowed to say and do what you like as you please. That is your free speech, and so am I. And if other people don't like it, then don't watch the channel. Flick on and watch something else. Some people who comment about Andrew being a PDF file, etc. Oh, so much outrage. Shut up, Fiona. How dare you do this? They're outraged because they saw one video by me. I'd ask them this question: how would you like to have been on a pitchfork for the last 25 goddamn years by the Daily Mail? I think I've been remarkably calm about the whole thing. I think I've taken it in my stride and been quite well-natured about it. I think Graham was as well. But I mean, as I say, that's another story. It's a bloody long, complicated story. Really, really fucked up story, actually, that I won't go into. I don't even actually think I've got the bandwidth on the phone to tell the whole fucking story. But anyway, so I just used that as an example to show how the press... And I mean, in these articles, quite often if you go to the comments section, there's always people who say, oh, that's awful. They just accept what has been said. When if you actually read the article, sometimes the article itself isn't actually saying that. And they go straight to the comments, go, that's awful, that happened, that's fact, that's gone down, written in stone. Oh, that's why I am so proud to stand with each and every one of you. Even if you disagree with me, I am so proud of you all, and you should all be very, very proud of yourselves. Because it's quite a scary thing in this day and age, isn't it, to put your hand up and to say, I've got my doubts. I don't believe that person, especially when allegations are really, really serious. It's like, well, you're not believing the victims. Well, has it been established yet? Has anything actually been established beyond a newspaper article, beyond a social media allegation? Wasn't so long ago that poor Trevor was on the bad end of a load of allegations that, as it's turned out, absolutely no truth whatsoever in it. And I bet you he's going to remember the people who stood with him, and he's going to remember the people who were against him or distanced themselves based on some sort of loose allegation. That's how we get into cancel culture. And it's actually more difficult to stand up for someone who you really don't like. Not that I don't, I love Trevor, you know that. But for example, if there were a person who I really don't like, but I saw that they were being unfairly treated, it's really difficult to stand up for someone who you don't like. Because you think, I mean, Andrew's never been my cup of tea. He's never been my favourite royal. He's sort of escaped my attention most of the time. But he's not he doesn't come across as a particularly lovable or suave. I mean, he's a far cry from Prince William, let's put it that way. And so it is difficult when it's not a cute, cuddly person who's on the receiving end of this sort of thing. I mean, again, I thank God for people like you. Thank you very, very much for liking, subscribing. And if you are a person who believes in guilty until proved innocent, feel free, unsubscribe, go somewhere else, because I don't want anything to do with anybody who thinks like that. We do not have witch trials in this day and age. We should not be having this. It should not be happening. And I won't go along with it, not for likes, not for clicks, not for subs, not for money, not for nothing. I won't go along with it. Because it's wrong. It's plain wrong. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a fabulous day. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and may your God be with you.